All right, let's talk about something that is vital for anyone creating content today: storytelling. You have probably heard it a million times before, but here's the thing: good storytelling can make or break your content. If you are not telling the right story, your videos won't stand out, and that certainly won't go viral. I'm going to walk you through 6 powerful storytelling techniques that I use in my videos. These techniques will take your content to the next level, and I guarantee after watching this, you'll start thinking about how you script and create in a totally new way. And by the way, I'm Richard. I'm not claiming to be a storytelling expert, but I have learned a lot through trial and error. I've gotten pretty good at pulling in viewers. So stick around and let's dive into my tips for becoming a master storyteller. Tip number 1. The dance contest plus conflict. Let's start with the dance of storytelling. This one's crucial and is something I see a lot of creators miss out on. Great stories always have this rhythm to them. It's all about a balance between context and conflict. Here is how it works. You give a bit of context. Let's say you introduce your character or set the scene. Then just when things seem calm, bam, a conflict happens. Something goes wrong. Now your audience is wondering, how are they going to fix this? And as the story unfolds, you keep introducing conflicts to maintain the tension. You give a little context, then a problem arises. And you do this dance between the two. It's like setting up a puzzle where the viewer has to stay engaged to see how it all fits together. This constant dance between context and conflict keeps your audience interested. Now, why does this work? Conflict creates open loops in the brain, and the context you provide help close those loops. The audience is constantly trying to figure out how the story is going to resolve. I want you to think of it like this. Whenever you are telling a story, always ask yourself, what is the next problem that's going to come up? That is what keeps people hooked. For example, in one of my best performing videos, I used this dance of context and conflicts. The first 30 seconds had 4 different conflicts, and I kept setting up and knocking down problems to keep the viewers glued to the screen. Tip number 2, rhythm. Make it flow. All right, let's talk about rhythm. I know it sounds like a buzzword, but trust me, it's super important. Think of it like this. When you are telling a story, it's like playing a piece of music. You need the rhythm to flow naturally. You don't want everything to sound the same or feel flat. Have you ever watched a video or read something that felt really monotonous? That is because the rhythm was off. It was all sorts choppy sentences or all long ones with no variation. To keep your audience engaged, vary the pace. Use a combination of short, punchy sentences and then mix in some longer, more detailed ones. It's like mixing fast beats with slower, deeper tones. That variation keeps things interesting. Here is a trick I pick up from author Gary Provost. It talks about sentence length and how it creates rhythm. When you write, you should have a mix of short, medium, and long sentences. It's like composing music. You don't want everything to sound the same. The point here is your sentences should be unpredictable. If all your sentences are the same length, your audience will zone out. But if you mix it up, it keeps them on their toes. Here is a quick tip. When I write, I try to vary the sentence length. I even look at the way my script is formatted. If you see a bunch of sentences that are all end in the same place, that is a sign that your rhythm's off. Change it up, and your audience will stay engaged. All right, before we dive deeper into the next tip, I want to hear from you. Which of these tips are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments. And hey, if you are enjoying this video so far, don't forget to like it and subscribe if you haven't already. I drop new content like this all the time, and subscribing will help you keep up with all the latest tricks to level up your content. Tip number 3, tone. Talk like you are right there. This one's really important. Tone. Now, when I say tone, I'm not talking about how formal or informal your language is. I'm talking about the vibe you give off in your videos. The most successful creators aren't sitting up on a pedestal lecturing you. They are talking to you like a friend. Think of people like Ima Shabalin or Cassie Neistat. When you watch them, it feels like you are in the room with them. It doesn't feel scripted or sexy. They have perfected the art of talking to their audience, like they are just having a conversation. For me, I tried to do this too. And honestly, at first, it was tough because I was too focused on making my videos sound perfect. But the magic happens when you stop to trying to sound perfect and just focus on sounding real. It's about building a connection with your audience, not just delivering information. A good trick to improve this is to write your script like you are testing a friend. Imagine you are speaking to one person and you are not thinking about the camera or how it looks to the world. This will help you build that authentic, conversational tone. Tip number 4, direction. Start with the end in mind. This one is a little different, but it works. Start with the end. I know that sounds a bit backwards, right? But here is the thing. When you know exactly what the end of your story is, it's become easier to build the rest of the narrative. It's like setting a destination on a GPS. You know where you're going, so you can map out the route. When you are writing a script or planning a video, think about the last thing you want the viewer to take away. What do you want them to remember? What do you want them to feel? That is your end. Once you have that in mind, walk backwards and feel in the story. Christopher Nolan does this perfectly in his film. He starts with the end and then builds all the twists and turns leading up to it. It's complicated, but it makes the final payoff feel so much more rewarding. For shorter content like YouTube or Instagram videos, you don't need 100-minute plots like Nolan. But the same concept applies. Know your end goal and structure your story to lead there. You are welcome.